our national anthem sung by Miss Sarah Vaughan. And we'll be ready to go in a moment. The Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs in the batting order now for Chicago. Don Kessinger at shortstop, and the Dodgers take the field. Glenn Beckert at second base. Billy Williams in left field. Ron Santo at third. Joe Pepitone at first. Johnny Callison in right. Jose Ortiz in center. J.C. Martin is the catcher. And Kenny Holtzman the pitcher. For the Dodgers, Maury Wills at short. Manny Mota in right. Wes Parker at first. Richie Allen in left. Bill Sudeikis catching. And Jimmy Lefebvre makes the start tonight at second base. Steve Garvey at third. Bill Russell in center. And Sandy Vance to do the pitching. The umpires will be Harvey at the plate, Dale, Gorman, and Pellicudis on the bases. Both the Cubs and the Dodgers have identical records in the young season, 2-4. The Dodgers on the homestand have 7 games left before they go on an extensive road trip. So they hope to get things going here at home with the Cubs, the Cardinals, and then the Astros over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow night, Milt Pappas will go against Bill Singer. And then the Dodgers get set up for the St. Louis series beginning on Wednesday. Now we're ready. Time to play ball. The Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs from Dodger Stadium. And now for the play-by-play, here's Vin Scully. Vinny?
Thank you, Jerry. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs trying to find out what it's all about. They both feel they have good ball clubs, and they both start off on a rocky beginning for 1971. The Dodgers have had some frustrating games, but the Cubs have had a couple of dillies. One in Houston they still have not recovered from, where they lost the game in the 9th inning on a balk and an error. Here's Don Kessinger, the switch-hitting shortstop, and he takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Sandy Vance and Bill Sudeikis, with Wes Parker and Jimmy Lefebvre, Maury Wills and Steve Garvey, Richie Allen, Bill Russell, and Manny Mota. Big chopper to Lefebvre, who has to back up, gloves it at the chest, and throws him out. 1 away, and the batter, Glenn Beckert.
Batting second, number 18, second baseman, Glenn Beckert.
Glenn Beckert, hitting .269. Boy, if he ever was a company man or a team man, he would be the guy. What a valuable ball player he is. Right-hand hitter, Glenn Beckert. Sandy Vance reading Bill Sudeikis. Sandy into the windup, and the right-hander delivers low in the dirt, ball 1, 1-0. You might get some idea of Sandy Vance and how well he is doing tonight by the use of one descriptive word on his pitches, high or low. If he stays low all night, he'll give the Cubs fits. There's a high fastball and the count ball 2, 2-0. If Vance keeps the ball down around the knees on the hitters, he can be a very tough young pitcher. But if the ball starts to come up on him, then he's in trouble. 2-0 the count to Glenn Beckert. Billy Williams on deck. Sandy into the windup. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball for a strike. 2-1. Vance, of course, trying to hook on as the number 4 starter in the Dodger rotation, trying to join Sutton, Osteen, and Singer. The 2-1 pitch to Beckert. Very high. Ball 3. 3-1. Now the 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball over, strike 2. Full count to Glenn Beckert. Billy Williams on deck. Beckert ready and hits a ground ball slowly to Wills. Maury gloves it almost at the shoulders and throws him out. 2 down. Billy Williams coming up. Williams started his year off in fine style. If you remember opening day in Chicago, he hit a 10th inning home run to beat Bob Gibson 2-1. Williams hitting .333, and he has 3 home runs in the 6 games he has played. Left-hand hitter. Vance ready and delivers high and inside. Ball one, 1-0. One and 0 the count to Billy. Vance, who works quickly, comes right back to the plate. Fastball and a high fly ball into shallow right. Lefevre out and calling. Mota coming in, but it's Lefevre. So it's a rare first inning for a Dodger pitcher outside of Osteen. He gets out of it 1-2-3. And at the end of half an inning, the Cubs nothing and the Dodgers coming up.
This is Sergeant Larry Gallup with a Crime Stop message for you. The deaths of 2 Phoenix police officers are grim reminders of what can happen even in a fine city like Phoenix. This tragedy was followed with cries of outraged indignation, shock, and sorrow. How could this have been prevented? What can I do to help? Who's responsible? These were just a few of the questions that we all asked ourselves. The reality of crime on our streets is no longer one of statistics, local and national crime rate, or other impersonal crime-related information. We must keep the criminals out of our city and let them know that we will not tolerate crimes against our persons or property. Crime Stop at 2626-151 is the safest, simplest method in which you can help wage the war on crime. If you see or hear suspicious activities or crimes in progress, call Crime Stop at 2626-151. Remember, all you've got to lose is crime.
Bottom of the first inning, the Cubs failed to score. The Dodgers will have Maury Wills, Manny Mota, and Wes Parker.
Maury Wills.
Maury Wills hitting right-handed against Kenny Holtzman. Holtzman lost his first start of the year, going 4 2/3 innings against Houston. Left-hander beat the Dodgers twice last year, and he has a 3-1 record against them lifetime. Fastball high and outside, ball one. Holtzman's lifetime record against the Dodgers, 12 victories and only 4 defeats, so he's rough. He graduated from the University of Illinois. Kenny is only 25. He won't be 26 until November. Another pitch outside, ball two. Setting the Cubs defensively, Kenny Holtzman and J.C. Martin. The infield of Joe Pepitone and Glenn Becker, Don Kessinger and Ron Santo, with Billy Williams, Jose Ortiz, and Johnny Callison in the outfield. The pitch is strike and the count 2-1. We were asking Leo DeRocher about his great young catcher Randy Hundley, who hurt his knee in spring training, hurt the other knee because he had one injury a year ago to a knee. The 2-1 pitch, a strike, 2-2. Anyway, Leo said that Randy Hundley will catch Wednesday in San Diego. So we said, well, if it's that close, why doesn't he catch tomorrow? And as only Leo could say, Leo put it, I'd rather be 10 minutes late than 10 minutes early. In other words, there was no reason to rush Hundley, so give him the extra day. Fastball is swung on and missed, apparently, dropped by catcher Martin, who tags out Wills. And Maury turns and, rather unhappy about it, walks away. He never broke towards first. One out.
Right fielder, Manny.
Here's Manny Mota. Kenny Holtzman, in his rookie year, led the Chicago Cubs in wins and strikeouts. That would be 1966. His last 2 years, he won 17. The Cubs feel that he is now ready to win 20. He's 6'2", 175-pounder. His fastball is high, ball one. Last year, he worked in 288 innings, which is a sign of a real star in the league to work that many. Curveball, but it's high. It's the first curve he's thrown, 2-0. He one-hit the Giants last year, beat them in a tidy little affair, 15-0. And he's had a 2-hitter and a 3-hitter last year. The next one to Mota, a strike, and the count 2-1. In fact, at one time last year, folks in the league were starting to consider Holtzman a serious threat to Don Drysdale's string of scoreless innings. pitch is swung on and missed, strike two. Holtzman had 33 consecutive scoreless innings before the streak was snapped. Ken Holtzman. He's been in the league since '66, and he is just now really becoming a star. Left-hander checking J.C. Martin. Now Ken ready in the 2-2 pitch. Fastball fouled away. Kicks off the backstop screen into the crowd. Among his other credits for 1970, Holtzman tied a National League record that been held solely by Johnny Podres of the Dodgers. He struck out the first 5 batters against the New York Mets that he faced. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Fastball poked on the ground to Pepitone. Joe to the bag easily for the second out.
Batting third, number 28.
Here is Wes Parker.
Wes Parker.
Wes Parker hitting right-handed against Ken Holtzman. No score, 2 down in the first inning. Sandy Vance and left-hander Holtzman. Breaking ball over for a strike, 0-1. Tomorrow night should be a dandy. Milt Pappas, who is off his shutout from Houston, will start for Chicago. And for the Dodgers, Bill Singer. Here's the strike one pitch to Parker. Outside and high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Holtzman has had a no-hitter. He no-hitted Atlanta in August at Wrigley Field of 1969. He has all the signs and shown all the credentials of being a superstar. Line drive at Glenn Beckert, and boy, Parker has really hit in some tough luck in the first week of the season. He has hit more line drives at people than any other Dodger. They're out in order, and at the end of an inning, no score.
Fill it up with Super 76, sir?
Yeah, please. You know the trouble today, Marge? People have no pride in their work, no spirit. Nobody really knows his job anymore. Now take this guy.
Now, George.
Say, I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir?
Would you happen to have any idea why they call this gasoline Super 76?
Well, sir, wouldn't you say a gasoline with 5 engine cleaners to keep your engine, carburetor, and anti-pollution valve clean is pretty super?
Don't say a word, Marge. Not a word.
Union Oil thinks a clean engine is pretty important. That's why you'll find 5 engine cleaners in Super 76, Union Oil's premium gasoline. Because a cleaner engine runs better, and it helps reduce pollution.
Well, there's a man who certainly has the spirit.
Well, he's just the exception that proves the rule.
George, I could almost think you had trouble admitting when you're wrong.
The spirit of 76 lives at Union Oil.
Second inning, no score in the ball game. The Cubs and the Dodgers. Ron Santo, the captain of the Cubs, followed by Joe Pepitone, and then Johnny Callison. Santo gives every appearance of an outward-going, easy-going guy. He's very bright, enthusiastic, well-liked by the players in the league. But Santo has been bothered by stomach pains for quite some time, and he was examined today by the Dodgers team physician, Dr. Robert Woods. Santo felt that he had an ulcer. Fortunately, the examination said no. The pitch is low, close enough for Harvey to start to bring up his right arm. 1-0 the count. However, Ron Santo was warned by Dr. Woods that they did detect an inflammation in the area where an ulcer could develop. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Santo takes low, ball 2. Immediately, you say to yourself, how is he doing? Well, Santo has been to bat 18 times. He has 4 hits. That's a .222 average. The 2-0 pitch to Ron Santo. Low again, ball 3. However, that's all right as far as the Dodger pitching plans are concerned. They don't mind Vance walking somebody as long as he is low. As we mentioned earlier, the key to Sandy's performance usually is the use of the word high or low. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way. That's high. Ball 4, Santo's aboard. That'll bring up Joe Pepitone.
Batting fifth, number 8, first baseman, Joe Pepitone.
Joe Pepitone hit .345 against the Dodgers last year. In fact, 6 Cubs hit .300 or more against the Dodgers. Pepitone is without a doubt one of the truly big characters in organized baseball today, and one of the better liked. Pitches high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Last year, he was chauffeured to and from Wrigley Field by a limousine with a television set in the back. And he would usually drive alongside the visiting team bus on the way to the ballpark and kind of grandly wave his hand. How do you do? Nice to have you in town. Joe, left-hand batter. Vance delivers, and Pepitone takes low. Ball 2, 2-0. 2 things have happened to Pepitone. In fact, one of a very serious nature. But in the result of the serious nature, he no doubt is hearing it from the bench jockeys in the league. Here's a 2-0 pitch coming up to Pep, and he hits a high pop fly into shallow center. Wills and Lefevre out. Russell coming. It's Lefevre as he falls on his right side. Nice play by Frenchie. 1 away. In an article about Pepitone's expenses for the year,
96, number 6.
it was mentioned because Joe is in the hair business. He makes hair pieces. He wears hair pieces. It was mentioned in the article that expense for hair treatment, $150 a month. And you can just imagine the bench jockeys in the league letting him hear about that. Here's Johnny Callison, who hit .391 against the Dodgers last year. Fastball for a strike. However, anything is a come down from Nate Colbert here at Dodger Stadium. Big Nate just punched holes in the ballpark. Callison up there with 1 out. Santo at first, held on by Wes Parker. Vance at the belt, a backward glance at Santo, and Callison a half swing and a popper up along first base, foul. 0-2. It has been a quiet year so far for the Lion. He is standing in the dugout right now, hands behind his back, pacing up and down, but he has matured like rare wine, has Leo. We asked him if he had been kicked out of a game so far this year. The answer was no. We asked him if he had been warned about the fact he would be kicked out of a game this year, and the answer is no. But he was almost kicked out of an exhibition game. The strike 2 pitch is a ground ball hit slowly to Wills. He goes back to Lefevre, that's all. The throw to first not nearly in time. So the fourth play, 6-4. 2 down. During an exhibition game in Tempe, Arizona this spring,
Number 20.
Leo disagreed rather violently with an American League umpire. And the word is that the American League umpire kicked him out of the game. And Leo said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you're going to kick me out of an exhibition game and deprive me of a chance of looking at my young ball players, and you, an American League umpire? No way. He said, what I'll do is I'll go over in the far corner of the dugout and sit quietly. And that's just what he did. So he was kicked out, but he didn't go, and it didn't count. So the Lion is still untouched, unmarred, and unblemished by 1971. A very good spirit. Here is Jose Ortiz. He sat in the shadow in Chicago last year of their center fielder Ken Berry, who is now, of course, with the Angels. Ortiz takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Ortiz is 8 for 18, including a double and an RBI. He has been timed going from home plate to first base in 3.9 seconds. The pitch to Ortiz, ground ball down to Wills. He goes the short way to Lefevre, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, a man left. At the end of an inning and a half, no score.
Schlitz, Milwaukee, and the world. At 18, I first put out to sea. By 19, I'd sailed around the world. And now, well, let's just say I've seen and done a lot. Enough for a lifetime? I doubt it. Because there's always one more port ahead, so I keep going. I figure you only get one chance in life. Blow it, you might as well quit. Oh, someday I'll go home. But right now, I'll take home where I find it. And I find it. Why, I can order a Schlitz in 7 different languages. And if that doesn't make you feel at home, I don't know what does. Seems that Schlitz is always 1 quart ahead of me, which is okay by me. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
To the bottom of the second inning, no score in the ball game. Richie Allen, Bill Sudeikis, and Jimmy Lefevre in that order. And Kenny Holtzman just about ready to go to work. See, and looking out at the Chicago bullpen brings back memories of just a few years ago. 2 of the mainstays of the Chicago bullpen, Phil Regan, and also Bob Miller. Remember, Bob with the Dodgers went over to the American League to Minnesota, but he has come back to the National League and with the Cubs. Allen takes what looked like a change turned over, a screwball for a strike, 0-1. Richie has 2 hits. One of them was just a little nubber, the other a line drive double. 0-1 the count to Richie Allen. Holtzman delivers, curveball grounded down to third, speared there by Santo, who throws him out. 1 away. Bill Sudeikis coming up.
Batting fifth, number 16, catcher, Bill Sudeikis.
During spring training, I think we told you about an interesting story that was written by Wally Wilson of the Santa Monica Outlook about Duke Sims and his idea of hitting. It was called breathless hitting. Well, Sims and Sudeikis are roommates, and now Sudeikis is a breathless hitter. He takes a curveball, low ball 1. What does that mean? Well, he expels all the air that he can out of his lungs before swinging the bat. And Sudeikis and Sims both feel that it helps you to be more relaxed, looser, and a much better swing. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Well, Sims is hitting 400. Sudeikis is hitting 308. And when you come to Dodger Stadium, there'll be some hot air around home plate as well as up here in the booth. As long as Sims or Sudeikis playing. 2-0 pitch. Fastball hit on the ground to short. Kessinger gloves it at the belt in the dirt to Pepitone, and Pep comes up with it. Good play by Joe. 2 down. Here's Jimmy Lefevre.
Second baseman, Jim Lefevre.
I can't tell you what a great young man Jimmy Lefevre is and what an asset he is to the ball club. And it was typical of Lefevre the other day. Bill Russell made an incredible start of a double play the other night in a ball game the Dodgers won. Here's a pitch to Jimmy. Fastball, low, ball 1. And Russell came off the field, and as Bill himself said later, he was kind of in a state of shock. And the first guy to greet him, to throw his arms around him and congratulate him on great play, is Jimmy Lefevre, the boy who might lose his regular job to Bill Russell. But he's that kind of a guy. The 1-0 pitch. High chopper to the left is short. Speared there nicely by Kessinger. Throws him out, and the Dodgers are gone in the second inning. So at the end of 2 well-played innings, the Cubs nothing, the Dodgers nothing. You seldom hear Farmer John mention a fastball. Instead, he uses the expression, smokes one over. I guess it's because smoke is so all-important in Farmer John's bacon business. In fact, it's what makes the flavor of Farmer John bacon so delectably different. Not just any smoke either, but the smoke from native western wood. It's the old-time western way of smoking, and it gives every lean, meaty strip of Farmer John bacon the genuine flavor of the West. Of course, flavor isn't all that distinguishes Farmer John bacon. It's made from the finest eastern corn-fed pork. And to be sure his bacon is strictly fresh, Farmer John brings the porkers out here live. Then the meat's U.S. inspected and dressed fresh right here in the West. First chance you get, enjoy Farmer John bacon, fried up so crisp it crackles. Believe me, you'll love it. Farmer John bacon, gold medal winner at the California State Fair. It's the easternmost in quality and the westernmost in flavor. Don't forget tomorrow night, the concluding game of the series, the Dodgers and the Cubs, Milt Pappas and Bill Singer. Then the St. Louis Cardinals will come in, headlined by Orlando Cepeda, the only man in the league to hit 8 home runs against the Dodgers last year. Cepeda did it. And along with Orlando, of course, will be Lou Brock and Ted Sizemore, who is now playing shortstop for St. Louis. They'll be in Wednesday and Thursday nights. And then next weekend, the Houston Astros. Friday night, teen night. Saturday night, ladies' night, 7 o'clock game, and Sunday afternoon, autograph day and senior citizens day. So make your plans and come on and enjoy the fun. We'll see you at Dodger Stadium, we hope, sometime during this week. Let's go to the third. No score, and for more play, here's Jerry Doggett.
All right, Vinny, and catcher J.C. Martin coming on. Martin was with San Diego, the White Sox, and with the Mets before going to the Cubs last year. The pitch comes in low, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Veteran catcher. He's been around quite a while. Broke into the major leagues in 1959 with the White Sox. Now the windup in the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, a little low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. He was acquired by the Cubs just before the start of the 1970 season. Served as the backup catcher behind Randy Hundley. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Strike on a fastball, 2-1. Martin played in 40 games for Chicago last year. Two and 1 pitch. Taken low again, ball 3. The Cubs have had 1 base runner, Santo, who walked in the second. The Dodgers have not had a base runner against Kenny Holtzman. First game of the 2-game series. Milt Pappas, Bill Singer tomorrow night. Sandy Vance working here tonight. Now the windup and the 3-1 pitch on the way. Too low, he walked him. So Vance twice has walked the leadoff batter. And that'll bring to bat Kenny Holtzman, the pitcher.
Number 30, pitcher, Ken Holtzman.
Ken Holtzman coming on. Ken bats from the right side. He throws left. And we'll see if Leo puts the bunt on for Holtzman. And now looks at third base coach Peanut Lowry. Joe Amalfitano is coaching at first base, so 2 local lads in the coaching lines for Leo. The pitch to Holtzman, bunted in the air, first base way. Parker has it, and no play back to first base. So Holtzman pops up the bunt. 1 away, holding at first is Martin, and the batter will be Don Kessinger.
Kessinger, shortstop.
Kessinger coming up. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Vance. The Dodgers and the Cubs were all even last year. 3-3 here, 3-3 in Chicago. Kessinger into the batter's box. All-star shortstop for the last several years. Down out of Mississippi. Pretty good basketball player there. Takes outside for ball. 1 ball and no strikes. He was the National League's All-Star shortstop for the 3rd straight year and was named to the Sporting News All-Star team and won a Golden Glove as the best defensive player in the league at the shortstop for the 2nd straight year. And he hit .266. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch on the way. Strike on the inside corner, knee high. And they want Vance to keep that ball down, and he's doing it quite well tonight. Kessinger led the league in assists and was 2nd in total chances and double plays. He led the team in triples and finished 2nd to Willie Davis with 14. Foul out of play upstairs to the left, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Don Kessinger. He was a standout baseball and basketball player at the University of Mississippi. He was all conference in both sports. Don is 6'1", weighs 175 pounds. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. On at first, Martin. Vance now checks, runner going, pitch on the way, swung on a miss, throw down by Sudeikis, too high, and he's been safe. So Kessinger strikes out, and with the runner Martin going, he beat the throw. So Wills had to go to the second base side of the bag to handle it. Here's Beckert coming on, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
The Good Son. KTAR Phoenix.
Glenn Beckert at bat now. Grounded out his first time up. Beckert grounded to Wills. Martin is on second now as Vance checks. Pitch on the way. Fly ball to right field. Manny Mota coming fast for it. Long way to go. Can't get it. Drops in for a base hit. The run is in. And the Cubs lead 1-0. As Beckert loops a fly ball into shallow right field. Mota raced as far as he could, skidded, caught it on the short hop, and Martin scores the run. That brings up Billy Williams, who popped up his first time at bat. So Beckert gets the first hit of the game, and it's good for a run. So the walk by Martin, the steal, set up the run, and Beckert cashes him in. Here's Williams at bat. He hit .333 on the year, and he has 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. Takes a curveball high, 1 ball, no strike. So Bill Williams off to a good start. He has 7 hits in 21 trips to the plate. Chicago leading 1-0 as we play in the top of the 3rd inning. Sandy Vance checks, delivers to Williams. Half swing, and it's in there. Tick the bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Williams tried to check his swing, had the ball at the bat. Billy had the greatest year of his career last year. He hit .322, had 42 home runs and 129 runs batted in. Change-up low, blocked by Sudeikis, and no play. 2-1 the count. Williams was very close in the National League voting for most valuable player, won by Johnny Bench. He did a lot of things well last year. He had a great season. 2-1. Now the pitch. High and away, ball 3, 3-1. He led the league in runs scored, total bases, tied for the most hits, and was second in the league in runs batted in and home runs. His batting average was 4th in the league. 3-1 count. Pitch to him is in for strike 3-2. So with 2 out, Beckert at first base, ready to go on the next pitch. Williams now has 294 lifetime home runs. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swung on a fly ball into shallow center. That's going to be trouble. Will's going out. Can't get it. Drops in for a base hit. Will quickly brings it back in, and holding at third base is Beckert on a bloop single by Williams. So a couple of little fly balls have fallen in the outfield for Chicago, and the Cubs now have runners on at first and third, and Ron Santo coming up. Williams sounded like he broke his bat on that one. Hit it off the end of the stick and blooped it just over Will's head into center field. Santo coming up. He walked his first time up. So the walk in the inning to open it up to Martin has put Sandy Vance in some trouble. The walk has been cashed in for a run, and now the Cubs have runners at first and third with 2 out. Santo up. He has just 1 RBI so far on the year. Ron hit .267 last year and had 26 home runs. Vance ready, delivers. Fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Santo came to the Cubs first in 1960. 4 times in his career, he has driven over 100 runs. 114 last year and 123 the year before. 1-0 the count to number 10, the Cub captain Ron Santo. Fastball inside, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Santo waiting, 2-0. Runners on at first and third for Chicago. We're in the 3rd inning. Vance ready, the look and the pitch. Ground ball towards second. The Fever has it, plays it to Wills for the 4th there, and the inning is over. So they're all out in the 3rd, 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 left. The score at the end of 2.5 innings, Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing.
Hello, I'm Eddie Basha, this year's chairman of Gomper's 10th annual Barbecue Carnival. Your attendance at this event will mean a lot of fun for you, as well as much help for the handicapped at Gomper's.
If you have a question about your telephone service, your service representative probably has the answer. Whether you want to order a phone, move a phone, or check your telephone bill, just call your Pacific Telephone Business Office and ask for your service representative. She is specially trained to have or find the answers to your questions.
birthday to the Dodgers First Lady, Mrs. Kay O'Malley. Celebrating a happy birthday today and hoping that the Dodgers can give her a happy birthday present of victory over the Cubs.
Garvey.
Here's Steve Garvey coming on. So from all of us, a happy birthday also. Steve Garvey at bat, hitting .211, facing Kenny Holtzman. Now Holtzman checking signs from catcher Martin. Into the windup and the pitch on the way. Garvey takes a curve low for a ball. The Dodgers have a team batting average of .260. But have managed to win just 2 and lose 4. So they've been giving up quite a few runs. The swing of a high fly foul off to the right out of play. The Dodgers have scored 24 runs. They have allowed 24 runs. But they have 52 hits to the opposition's 35. The Cubs, meanwhile, have a team batting average of only .221. They have scored only 19 runs in 6 games. Garvey takes low ball 2, and it's 2-1. Two-one count. Holtzman checking. Garvey waiting. Swinging a high fly ball to deep right field. Callison going way back for this one. Going. It's gone. Home run. Boy, Steve Garvey is pretty strong. He hit that ball to right field. Right-hand batter. Hit it between the 350 and 370 mark into the bleachers, and the Dodgers have caught up 1-1 on Garvey's second home run of the year. All spring, Garvey was going to right field with good power, and then he had pulled on occasion. And now he opens up this ball game for the Dodgers with a home run in the right field seat. He's liable to turn out to be a real strong one for the Dodgers. Bill Russell waiting, ball 1 count. The pitch to Bill, pop foul out of play, and the count is 1-1. Russell batting in the 8th spot. For the home run by Steve Garvey, we're pleased to present 2 books of Union All-Out strips to Steve and 2 books to the San Fernando Valley Association for Retarded Children in Sepulveda. 1-1 the count to Bill Russell. Holtzman delivers. Up high with a breaking ball, 2-1. Holtzman's record on the year, 0-1. He worked 4 2/3 innings in his other appearance and allowed 6 runs. This is the first home run that he has allowed for the year. There's a swing and a drive to deep center field. Fading back on this one as Ortiz turns, makes the catch for the out. So Russell out on a line drive hit the center, and that'll bring up Sandy Vance. Sandy Vance coming up now. All right, Vance the batter. Holtzman checking. Vance a right-hander all the way. A swing and a miss and a fastball, strike 1. Steve Garvey, home run opening up the last half of the 3rd, and he hit it to right field. Now the pitch on the way to Vance, swung on and missed, strike 2, 0-2. Garvey has 5 hits on the year, 2 of them doubles and 2 home runs, so he has only 1 single so far. Here's the 2-0-2 pitch, and Vance takes high and away, ball 1, 1-2. The Dodgers might come up with some pretty good power. Young fellows like Garvey, of course, Grabarkowitz hit 18 last year. Sudeikis and Richie Allen. Pitch high for a ball, 2-2. That's the 5th Dodger team home run. The Cubs have hit only 4 home runs. And they have long been noted as one of the top home run hitting teams in the league. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Vance. Ground ball to shortstop. Kessinger has it. Here's his throw. It's in time. 2 out. Vance rolls to short. Maury Wills coming up. Maury struck out his first time at bat.
Maury Wills, shortstop.
Wills hitting .217. On the scoreboard today, Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 4-3. Cincinnati over Atlanta 7-3. McLaughlin the winner and Reed the loser. Pitch to Wills a ball. 1 ball, no strike. And St. Louis is leading Houston by a score of 5-4 in the 9th inning in Houston. Rather than St. Louis, a bunt first base way. Pepitone comes to field. First base is open and Wills beats it out. No play. So Wills bunted, and Pepitone had to come off the bag to play it. By that time, Holtzman was late getting over there, and Wills beats out the bunt for a base hit. That'll bring up Manny Mota, who grounded out to Pepitone his first time up. So the Reds have won their first game of the year. They now stand 1-4. And San Francisco beat San Diego 5-0. And the Giants have moved into the top spot now, tied with ahead of Atlanta. Mota takes low and inside, ball 1. Atlanta, in losing tonight, now is 4-2. The Giants are 5-2. Houston 5-2 and losing tonight. San Diego 3-4 and the Dodgers 2-4 and the Reds are 1-4. 1 ball, no strike. Mota waiting, Wills going. Ground ball towards second. Becker's there up with it. Here's the play to first and the inning is over. So Mota grounds out. The Dodgers go down with 1 run on 2 hits and leave 1, and the score at the end of 3. Dodgers 1 and the Cubs have 1.
Fill it up with Super 76, sir?
Yeah, please. You know the trouble today, Marge? People have no pride in their work. No spirit. Nobody really knows his job anymore. Now take this guy.
Now, George.
I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir?
Would you happen to have any idea why they call this gasoline Super 76?
Well, sir, wouldn't you say a gasoline with 5 engine cleaners to keep your engine, carburetor, and anti-pollution valve clean is pretty super?
Don't say a word, Marge. Not a word.
Union Oil thinks a clean engine is pretty important. That's why you'll find 5 engine cleaners in Super 76, Union Oil's premium gasoline. Because a cleaner engine runs better, and it helps reduce pollution.
Well, there's a man who certainly has the spirit.
Well, he's just the exception that proves the rule.
George, I could almost think you had trouble admitting when you're wrong.
The spirit of 76 lives at Union Oil.
3-2, scoring twice in the 8th inning. Oakland over Milwaukee 5-0. Minnesota beat Kansas City 2-0, and Boston over Washington 10-7. So that's everything on the scoreboard. We're set to go into the 4th inning of the ball game now. Cubs coming to bat. Back to play. Here's Vince.
All right, Jerry, a run, 2 hits for each side. A difference in the ball game. A couple of bloop singles to set over the run for the Cubs, and a line drive home run to the opposite field by Steve Garvey to get the Dodgers even. So here's Pepitone, Callison, and Ortiz in that order. Pepitone, left-hand hitting first baseman, batting .304. Sandy Vance into the windup, and the pitch to Pepitone, a change outside, ball 1. We told this story once this spring. We won't repeat it again, but it is a tip-off on what kind of a character Pepitone is. It came out after last season. The fact that he kept begging Leo Durocher to let him steal a base. Please let me steal a base, Leo, and Durocher said no. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High, ball 2, 2-0. And then one day, Leo Durocher flashed a sign to Joey Amalfitano, let Pepitone steal. Well, the sign was for Amalfitano, the coach, to wink at Pepitone. So Joe took his lead, and Amalfitano winked, and Pepitone never moved. The 2-0 pitch is popped in the air. Wills waiting, under it now, and makes the catch, 1 away. Anyway, just to conclude the story, Amalfitano winked and Pepitone didn't move. So Leo gave the steal sign again, and Amalfitano winked and Pepitone never moved. And finally, Leo got a little angry and flashed the sign again. And for the 3rd time, Amalfitano winked, and this time Pepitone blew him a kiss. That's Joe Pepitone. Here's Johnny Callison, and lines it foul into the lower deck in right field. 0-1 the count. Callison hit into a force play in the 2nd inning. Johnny hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers last year. He bunts up along the 3rd baseline. Garvey in a hurry and guns him out, and oh, what a dangerous play for Wes Parker. Parker had to actually go into the runner to handle a throw and came within a whisker of one of those head-on collisions. That's a rare time you'll see Parker get in a jam like that. West normally is able to get to the bag and catch that throw in foul ground with his foot on the bag. But that time he almost went right head-on into Callison. So Parker and Callison are each fortunate that they escaped a serious collision that time. 2 down. And the batter is Jose Ortiz. Ortiz hit into a force play in the second inning. Change over for a strike, 0-1. Final score, the Cardinals beat Houston 5-4. Steve Carlton over Wade Blasingame. Don't forget, the Cardinals will be in here Wednesday night. Change over for a strike, 0-1. Final score, the Cardinals beat Houston 5-4. Steve Carlton over Wade Blasingame. Don't forget, the Cardinals will be in here Wednesday night. Here's the strike one pitch to Ortiz. Breaking ball in the dirt. Backhanded by Sudeikis, and the count 1-1. 1-1. That's the count. That's the score. With 2 out in the 4th inning and the bases empty. Sandy Vance and Kenny Holtzman. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball low, ball 2, 2-1. Ortiz, as we mentioned, his first trip very fast. You can run to first base in under 4 seconds, you fly. And he has been timed at 3.9. So he puts heat on the infield. 2-1 pitch to Jose. Ground ball sharply to Wills. He's up with it, goes to first, and that's that. One of the incredible things about baseball, no matter how fast the man is, there's no way you can outleg a ground ball that's hit at an infielder. So they got an order in the 4th, and at the end of 3.5, a 1-1 tie.
Schlitz, Milwaukee, and the world. When you get caught in the eye of a nor'easter, it can be a pretty hairy thing. Winds whip up to 130 miles an hour and can crack open the hull of a ship like an egg. And the waves are the worst. They wash over the deck and can sweep everything overboard that isn't backing down, including you. But the work goes on. If you happen to be caught topside, you look all right at surviving. So you put on your life jacket and hang on and sweat it out till the storm blows over. Then you celebrate with a Schlitz. Listen, life's a one-time thing. Nobody gets a second chance. So you live it with all the gusto you can, right down to the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-1 tie. A reminder to our listeners, 19 or younger especially. Don't forget, Friday night is your night at Dodger Stadium. The first of 2 teen nights this year. Teen night tickets for only $1, and you get a $2.50 reserved seat. You'll find teen night booths in both sides of the stadium, and if you have some adults with you, they can purchase their $2.50 seats and sit right next to you. So make teen night your date night at Dodger Stadium this Friday night. Teen night tickets only $1. Curveball has hit the right center, but Ortiz is there to make the catch. So Parker goes out, 1 away. There'll be some prizes given out. We'll also have Jerry Ray in the Blue Forest Friday night. So if the kids in the neighborhood are saying, hey, babe, what's happening? You tell them teen night at Dodger Stadium Friday night. Right on. Right here. Here's Richie Allen. Richie grounded to third in the second inning. Holtzman's fastball is fouled back, and the count 0-1. Oh, and 1 to Richie. Bill Sudeikis on deck. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. A high fly ball into deep center field. Back goes Ortiz. Away back. It's gone. Welcome to the club, Richie. Richie Allen hit an Allen specialty, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Sudeikis 6 high, ball one. Allen hit a towering drive. It looked like a marble going out over the center field fence. He got a standing ovation from the crowd, and as he walked along the path to the Dodger dugout, you can tell he was thinking about it, because ball players are very sensitive as to what to do to an ovation. And he finally decided he should acknowledge it, and he took his helmet off. And then he got a standing ovation in the dugout from the Dodgers, and Wes Parker pulled him into the crowd, and he indeed has now been welcomed officially to the ball club. Not that he wasn't a member anyway, but he has proven his point. So the Dodgers lead 2-1, and he shook him up. Oh, did he hit that thing. And actually, he hit under the ball. The 2-0 pitch to Sudsy, a one-hopper banged at Kessinger. Don stays with it to get him. 2 out, and they're hitting a few darts against left-hander Kenny Holtzman. On the home run by Richie Allen, 2 books of Union All Auto Script to Richie, and 2 books of the Pacific Lodge Boys Home Incorporated, 4900 Serrania Avenue in Woodland Hills. Listen to the crowd talking. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. This ball club is going to have people talking. Whether they win or not, nobody knows that. But we were saying this earlier. As far as coming out and investing some money and having some fun, they are a particularly good investment this year. Oh. Lefevre takes the strike. 0-1. 2-1 Dodgers in the 4th inning. Holtzman comes back, curved ball and a beauty over strike 2. Richie Allen has hit 212 home runs in 8 years plus. He starts this year with a lifetime batting average of .297. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, fastball away, ball 1, 1-2. A fellow who hit home runs that high, and you don't see them go out that far, that high, but that was an old Ralph Kiner type home run. Because when you hit it that high, you figure it can't possibly go too far. The 1-2 curve is whacked down the line, foul. If you know Dodger Stadium at all, you know in center field you have 2 flagpoles, and it's 400 just at the curve on either side of the center fielder. Well, the ball went out between the flagpoles, closer to the one in left center, with Ortiz up against the boards watching it go out. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Jimmy Lefevre. Fastball hit down to Kessinger. He's busy tonight. Don up with it to get him, and the Dodgers are gone, but not before they get on the boards on the towering home run by Allen. A run on a hit, and at the end of 4, Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. Farmer John says that every home should have an on-deck circle, like a spot in your refrigerator for a package of his Farmer John wieners. That way, they're always handy when you want to whip up an easy, enjoyable meal. A delicious idea it is, too, since Farmer John wieners have a wondrous, wide-open spaces Western flavor you can hardly believe. The secret is in the smoking. Farmer John smokes his wieners like he smokes his famous bacon, over real smoke from native Western wood. And Farmer John wieners are as hearty and wholesome as they are delicious, because they're all meat, and the best meat, too. Be sure to pick up a package of Farmer John wieners in the delicatessen section of your market. And look for Farmer John Dodger dogs in the meat department. They're the long, luscious 10-inch wieners sold at the ballpark. Except for size, Farmer John wieners and Farmer John Dodger dogs are the same. Both won gold medals at the California State Fair, and both would fit nicely in that on-deck circle of your refrigerator. Through 4 innings, the Dodgers 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. The Cubs 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Sandy Vance and Kenny Holtzman. Sandy Vance has not done too much pitching for the Dodgers this spring. Vance had a brief stint against the Angels. So the Dodgers, of course, will have to watch him. He went 5 innings against the Angels in a Dodgers Sunday victory against California. Ground ball to Parker, west of the bag for the out. 1 away as far as J.C. Martin is concerned. And in a moment, Kenny Holtzman coming up. So when a fella has not pitched too long in any one ball game, you immediately check his high point or the most innings, and when he gets to that point, you figure from then on he bears watching. Well, his longest stint 5, and he's working his 5th inning right now. However, to look back at the box your scorecard, if you are keeping score, you'll notice all the ground balls off the bats of the Cubs. So far, Vance has been able to keep the ball down, and he's leading 2-1. It's not quite as simple as that, but it sure is an indication. Holtzman, a pretty good hitting pitcher, takes a breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. Kenny, left-hand pitcher, right-hand batter. On deck, Don Kessinger. Vance comes back, fastball, over at the knees, strike 2, 0-2. Yeah, this fella could be a pitcher. Oh, boy. You hear the experts, the pitching coaches, and the scouts talk about him. And they're the ones who really know. Strike 2 pitch on the way to Holtzman. Fastball in the dirt, ball 1. 1-2. It's hard to keep the ball down. You hear somebody say, well, all Vance has to do is keep the ball down. First of all, not only that, but it's hard to keep it down. The breaking ball is low, ball 2. What happens is, as a pitcher tires, he no longer takes that good stride, no longer bends his back the same way, no longer releases late, and then the pitch starts to come up. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. And in the big leagues, when the pitch starts to come up, the pitcher usually goes out. If you were raised the same way I was, all you ever heard of when you were a kid about the high hard one. Well, the high hard one is all right if you have a Bob Gibson fastball, or if you throw like Koufax used to throw, or even a Marichal, but there aren't too many around. And the ordinary human being type high fastball is going to be hit a mile. Here's Kessinger with 2 out. He's grounded out and struck out. Good ball player. Switch hitting shortstop. Takes low, ball 1. Two runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Danny Ozark bringing up Bill Russell in center field, just a dab. Now moving him over a little to left center, and there's a ground ball hit to Lefebvre. Frenchie has it and flips to Parker, and there you have it again. Vance keeps it down. The Cubs hit ground balls, and they go out in order. And at the end of 4.5 innings, the Dodgers 2 and the Cubs 1.
This is Joe McConnell. For slacks, it's the Knack by Ratner Clothes at Lavin's for Men. Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall at the corner of Scottsdale and Camelback Road. The Knack is 100% washable polyester, good for office or casual wear. The Knack is totally different from any ordinary slack. It was created from a supremely fine airweight fiber, bred with the ability to snap back into shape, fresh and impeccable, no matter how tiring the day has been. The Knack by Ratner Clothes at Lavin's for Men is America's most uncrushable slack. It just won't wrinkle. And it's machine washable and dryable. Stop in soon at Lavin's for Men in Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall. Ask for the Knack. You'll like the wide selection of colors, and they're in a complete range of sizes. The Knack, the slack certain to become your favorite. Visit Lavin's for Men. Bill Lavin takes a personal interest in all of his customers, and that's one good reason he has more repeat business. That's Lavin's for Men, Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall at the corner of Scottsdale and Camelback Road. Tell Bill Joe McConnell sent you.
The Good Son. KTAR.
The Cubs 2-1, and Steve Garvey, who hit the wrong field home run, hit it into the right field bleachers to tie up the game in the 3rd inning, coming up. Now we see one of our favorite people in the ballpark tonight, the Honorable Charles Dillon Casey Stengel, is gracing Dodger Stadium with his presence. He is, where a man of his stature, it befits him to be there in the high rent district. He is seated in chairman of the board Walter O'Malley's box and taking in the ball game. Where else would a banker sit but in the chairman of the board box? Mr. Stengel, sir, we are happy to have you with us. Indeed. And I hope you'll lower your interest rates. And thank you. 2-1 Dodgers. 1-1 to count to Steve Garvey as we salute Casey, the left-handed man from Kansas. There's a line drive to left center. Ortiz over, makes the running catch for the out. So Jose Ortiz handles a line drive up the bat of Garvey. 1 away. That'll bring up Bill Russell, the center fielder.
Center field.
Bill Russell hit the ball hard, but lined out to Ortiz in the 3rd inning. Jose has handled 3 out there. Holtzman ready and delivers, and the fastball foul back. Good pitch. He jammed him, and Russell never did get around on it. 0-1. The Lion, arms folded at his chest, pacing up and down in the Cub dugout. Familiar number 2 on his back. Strike 1 pitch to Russell. Off speed. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Kenny Holtzman, a 17-game winner in each of the last 2 years. The crowd reacting as Martin's throw sailed over Holtzman's head. 0-2 the count. The Cubs have Kenny Holtzman and J.C. Martin. The infield of Joe Pepitone and Glenn Becker, Don Kessinger and Ron Santo. The outfield of Billy Williams in left, Jose Ortiz in center, and Johnny Callison in right. Jim Gilliam coaching at first, Danny Ozark at third. Strike 2 pitch, fastball away. Ball 1, 1-2. Holtzman into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit up along third base, charging Santo. Bare hand pickup, no throw. Russell's too fast for that play and gets a leg single. So one of the inequities of baseball, where you hit a line drive at somebody and then you nub one for a base hit, and the ball players keep their sanity, as do the managers throughout the year, by saying it all evens out. And here is Sandy Vance. Vance grounded to short in the 3rd inning, but the Cubs figure he'll be bunting to stay out of the double play to get the speedy Russell in scoring position and leave it up to Will. We'll see what Sandy does. Holtzman at the belt. Vance bunting, but takes, and the pitch outside, and Russell has stolen second. Kenny Holtzman gesturing to Harvey, didn't he try to bunt? And Doug said, no, sir, he pulled the bat back. He took it. Leo now gestures, didn't he bunt? And Gorman shakes his head, no, he pulled the bat back. And they count 1 ball and no strikes, and Bill Russell steals second. Russell led the club in stolen bases in the spring. That's his 2nd steal of the year. 2 out of 3. Now, Vance up there, and the Cubs with a runner at second have to come back. They pull Pepitone at the bag, and the same for Santo at third. The outfield shallow and shaded to right. The 1-0 pitch to Vance, taken for a strike. 1-1. Vance, right-hand batter. Holtzman at the belt, 1-1 pitch, a fastball hit foul outside of first. He was late on it, but almost got away with it. Hit it just off the bag. Vance, prior to tonight, has had 37 at-bats in the big leagues and 7 hits. 2 runs batted in. The count 1-2. Vance swings, fouls another fastball off first into the crowd, back to the Cub dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Going to be with us tomorrow night, I hope so. Bill Singer will try to find the strike zone and try to find a victory. Opposing him will be Milt Pappas, one of the control pitchers in the league, who had a shutout his last time out. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Vance, outside and high, ball 2. Milt Pappas last year averaged 2 walks a game. He was number 7 in the ranking in control. So we'll see him tomorrow night. And Bill Singer opposing him, and we hope you can be with us. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, up in the air, back at third. Santo in foul ground. Waiting now, makes the catch for the out. So the Dodgers accomplished what they had hoped. They got a man over to second base, stayed out of the double play, and here's Will. Morey struck out in the first inning and had a perfect bunt single in the third. He's 1 for 2. Holtzman reading Martin behind the plate. Outfield fanned out straight away. Ken delivers, and a pitch very high. Ball 1. You never know how they did against each other, but you can always look back through the books and figure out how Wills did, let's say, against Cub pitching last year, if nothing else. He hits a high foul off third, and Santo has a play. He's waiting and makes the catch for the out. For your information, Wills hit .346 against Chicago last year. No runs, a hit, a man left at second, and at the end of 5. Dodgers 2, Cubs 1.
Well, friends, to be good at anything, I mean really good, you usually find it takes 2 things. It takes training and spirit. And there's a fellow in your neighborhood who has the best of both. Your Union 76 certified serviceman. He's a real pro with real professional training. Because for each certified service stripe he wears on his arm, he's had special training at Union Certified Service Training School. Up to 6 weeks of concentrated specialized study for each stripe he wears. And that means when you take your car to him, he's going to fix it right. Look for the stripes he wears. Brakes, wheel alignment, tune-ups, air conditioning. If he's wearing the stripe, you know he's a pro. And he has great spirit, too. He's proud of the job he can do, and you can trust him to do it right. Because that's what Union Certified Service is all about. So the next time your car needs servicing, take it to your Union 76 Certified Serviceman. You'll like his spirit. The spirit of 76 lives at Union Oil.
Don't forget, with this homestand coming up, the Cubs tomorrow night, then the Cardinals and the Astros. And if you'd like to go to the ball game in a group, well, the best way to do that then is contact Group Sales, care of the Dodgers, Box 100, Los Angeles 90051. That's always a good way to go with a group from your church, your office, neighborhood, whatever. We sure hope you'll make Dodger Stadium a place to have some fun, and we think the ball club is here to provide the fun. So come on out. Open for business tomorrow night and every night this week through Sunday. Then the Dodgers will go out on the road, and they will first stop in San Diego and see if that machine has cooled off a little bit. While we are away, you might want to line up the month of May because the Dodgers will be home for quite a bit. And in May, you will see the Cincinnati Reds, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Atlanta Braves, the San Francisco Giants. In other words, May is going to be something. So why not take a look at the schedule, pick out the ball games that you'd like to see, and drop us a line here at the ballpark. Or pick up your tickets at any convenient Dodger ticket office. 6th inning, 2-1 Dodgers, and Glenn Becker takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Now the 1-0 pitch to the second baseman, a strike, and the count 1-1. Glenn Becker grounded to short, dropped the fly ball single to right. 1-1 pitch on the way. Line drive to center. Russell coming up and makes the catch for the out. That line drive hung, and he got it at his chest. 1 away. Well, Becker can't consider himself too unlucky, however, since he got the base hit on the pop fly and the run batted in. Well, here's Billy Williams. Billy has popped up and singled. He's 1 for 2. Vance into the windup and delivers. Ground ball to first base. Parker up with it. Goes to the bag. 2 down. Well, Sandy Vance has 2 out in the 6th inning, leading 2-1. And he was just downright unlucky in the 3rd inning on the pop fly to Sell, or he would not have allowed a run. He's allowed 2 hits. Here's Santo, the 3rd baseman, who walked and hit into a force play. Of course, on the other side of the coin about Vance, and any pitcher would do this, and certainly a manager would remind him of it, he got himself into trouble and allowed the only run in the 3rd when he walked the number 8 hitter in the lineup, catcher Martin. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Just as I'm sure Don Sutton would be the first to tell you that all of his troubles yesterday began when he walked Tommy Dean, the one fellow who doesn't figure to hurt you really in the San Diego lineup, certainly not on a home run. And he walked him, and then the sky fell in. Santo takes inside. He almost jammed himself that time. He was guessing on location, and he was looking for a pitch away. 1-1. Vance into the windup. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way as a fastball hit foul off to the right of the plate and out of play. That ball kangaroos all the way up into the second deck. I told you this is a lively ballpark, and the count 1-2. Two down, sixth inning, Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. Vance has a look at Sudsy Signs behind the plate. Now the 1-2 pitch to the Cub third baseman is hit up along third base, foul, out of play. Good off-speed pitch by Vance, and it's still 1-2. There's a thoughtful note by the Chicago Cubs. You always hear, of course, about all of the fine ball players in the big leagues who have come from USC. But also UCLA is pretty well represented in the big leagues, and the Cubs have a Bruin on their club. The 1-2 pitch to Santo fouled away. Seated out in the Chicago bullpen is a young right-hander by the name of Bill Bonham, Bonham. And knowing he was from UCLA, when they issued him his uniform, they gave him uniform number 33. Now, if you're a college basketball follower or a UCLA fan, you know about 33. Change is over. Strike 3 called, and Santo can't believe it. And he's caught looking. In case you are not a basketball follower, they gave Bonham number 33 because he's from UCLA. That was the number worn at UCLA and now worn in Milwaukee by Lou Alcindor. The Cubs are gone in order, and at the end of 5 1/2, the Dodgers 2, the Cubs 1.
Schlitz, Milwaukee, and the world. My old man was a seafaring man. He used to sail these seas like there was no tomorrow. And he drank his beer big. Even back then it was Schlitz. He had a philosophy about life, my old man. He'd say, you only live once, so you gotta make the most of it. Yeah, a lot of that stuff with me. You gotta live life. Live it with all the gusto there is. In everything. Even in the beer you drink. Settle for less? Not a chance. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Bottom of the sixth inning, the Dodgers leading the Cubs 2-1. So far, a great performance by Sandy Vance and a magnificent changeup for the third called strike on Ron Santo to end the top of the sixth. That was some pitch. Here's Mota, grounded out twice. Manny is 0 for 2, as usual, going the other way. Grounded to second and to first. Holtzman's breaking ball to strike. Might be a little tip-off on Sandy Vance in looking at last year. He made 4 starts, 4, against the San Francisco Giants. Strike 1 pitch. Fastball high and away. 1-1. Well, on the message board, Dodger Stadium welcome to one of the nicer human beings you'll ever meet. And he is the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, the pride of the Cross, Holy Cross, Joe Mullaney. And it says, good luck, Joe. He is something. The pitch high, ball 2, 2-1. I don't know if he remembers that we went body surfing in Far Rockaway many, many years ago. And he's a distinguished coach of the Lakers, and whatever happened to the redhead who was Here's a 2-1 pitch to Mota. Fastball sliced to right field, but that's where Callison hangs out, and John makes the catch. 1 away. Wes Parker lined out to Glenn Beckert and lined out to Ortiz in center field. Parker, more than any other Dodger, has really hit in tough luck. Most of the others have just not done too well. And meanwhile, while I'm saying that, he came into this game hitting .304, but he could be hitting close to .500. Pitch outside, ball 1. He has hit a bucket full of line drives that have been caught at people. He's 7 for 23. He could be 12 for 23. Pitch over for a strike, 1-1. On deck, Richie Allen. 1 out in the 6th. Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. Holtzman and Vance. Tomorrow night, Singer and Pappas. 1-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit. So Parker finally hits it where they don't put a player. Single up the middle. And here's Richie Allen, and that'll take him up. Richie Allen does not consider himself a home run hitter. He does not consider himself the type of a hitter, let's say, a Willie McCovey or a Willie Mays or a Henry Aaron. He figures he is more of a line drive type hitter. But as we said, he has averaged. Foster was the pitcher. It might be one of the longest, hardest home runs we have ever seen. Here's the strike one pitch to Rich. A little high, 1-1. In the old ballpark at Connie Mack Stadium, at the base of the center field wall, it was 447. Then there was quite a bit of real estate behind the fence, and the double-deck stands ran out to a direct point in straightaway center. And Allen had a line drive that went halfway up the second deck in straightaway center. It was as if it were truly shot out of a gun. The 1-1 fastball is popped in the air into right field. Callison has time to get under it because it's so high. Makes the catch for the out. 2 down, and Bill Sudeikis the batter. Sudsy twice has grounded to Kessinger. He has hit the ball hard, but Kessinger makes him look easy. The Dodgers are hoping that tonight they will celebrate an anniversary. 1 year ago, the Dodgers snapped their 5-game losing streak. They won 3 straight and 7 out of 10, and the club is hoping to get off on the right foot tonight. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. Of course, it's a very different year. Last year, the Reds could not be beaten. This year, they finally won their first game today. Strike one pitch to Sudeikis. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Strike 2. However, Cincinnati, by winning their first game, knocked off a hot Atlanta club. The Braves had won 4 out of 5. Houston climbs into first place, and the Giants right back of them. And boy, I tell you, the Houston ball club, look out. Strike 2 pitch. In the dirt, bounces off to the right. Parker hesitates. Now goes. Martin's throw is not in time. Pass ball charged to Martin. And check me on the scores. Houston lost. So that noise comes from moving day up north. The Giants won, and Atlanta and Houston lost, so the Giants have moved into first place. Excuse me, in the Bay Area. The Cardinals won their ball game. They're at the 500 mark, and they'll be in here Wednesday night. One-two pitch to Sudeikis. Check swing, and Martin does little umpiring, and he loses. It's ball 2. J.C. tagged Sudeikis, whirled on Harvey, who pointed to Dale, and Jerry Dale flashed no, he didn't swing. And the count is 2-2. And I'm sure Doug Harvey leans over and says, J.C., we are indebted to you for all of your help and consideration and interest, but we'll call him. 2-2 pitch to Sudeikis. Inside, ball 3 to Bill. Full count to Bill Sudeikis. Parker at second with 2 out. The Dodgers had Russell at second with 2 out, but they couldn't get him over in the 5th inning. Three-two pitch to Bill. Fouled away, and he got that a little on the foot. Still 3-2. Three and 2, the count to Bill Sudeikis. Parker at second. Holtzman ready with 2 out and works high. Ball 4, and that brings up Jim Lefebvre.
Lefebvre, second base.
Jimmy Lefevre twice grounded a shortstop. He's 0 for 2. So Jimmy gets a start tonight. Get a right-handed bat in there and rest Willie Davis against a left-hander. Fastball is hit down the right field line. Callison is not going to get it. It's in the corner and bouncing against the railing. In comes Parker. Here to the plate and scoring is Sudeikis on a triple by Lefevre. Jimmy Lefevre triples into the right field corner. The Dodgers lead 4-1, and the storm signals are up, and so is the Chicago bullpen. And Steve Garvey will be the batter with 2 outs. The Dodgers in the dugout who know how much cheering Lefevre has done for them. Boy, did they holler out to him when he got to third base. Here's Garvey. He checks and fouls one away, 0-1. Jim Colburn, a right-hander, along with a left-hander in the Chicago bullpen. Lefevre down the line from third. Holtzman checking and Garvey waiting, and Holtzman off the rubbers. Ken into the windup, and the strike one pitch. Breaking ball hit to the left of Kessinger, but he eats it up. Goes across to Pepitone. The inning is over. Now, but not before Lefevre triples home 2. So the Dodgers 2 runs, 2 hits, a man left. And at the end of 6, Dodgers 4, Cubs 1. Friends, if Farmer John were to give you a play-by-play report on his sausage, he'd start off with his freshness. After all, freshness is what you want most in sausage. And it's what you're sure to get when the label says Farmer John. The good farmer brings fresh yeast and corn-fed pork out here live. And it's U.S. inspected and dressed fresh right here in the West. Well, that's why Farmer John's sausage is a nice, rosy, fresh hue. It doesn't look gray like sausage shipped in frozen or cold storage. Of course, the fabulous Western flavor of Farmer John's sausage speaks for itself. Farmer John makes his sausage to an old-time Western recipe, using only natural herbs and spices. And he grinds, mixes, and measures them himself. So his sausage is never over or under-seasoned like some. Lean, meaty Farmer John sausage makes the West's best breakfast and a hearty, wholesome supper, too. It's the sausage that won the gold medal at the California State Fair. So enjoy Farmer John sausage often, for the easternmost in quality and the westernmost in flavor. Don't forget, for the rest of the week, the Chicago Cubs tomorrow night, Bill Singer and Milt Pappas. Then the St. Louis Cardinals will be in. Wednesday night and Thursday night, Orlando Cepeda, Lou Brock, and that colorful gang. Over the weekend, the Houston Astros. Friday night is teen night. Saturday night at 7 p.m., ladies' night. Sunday afternoon, autograph day and senior citizens day. Sure hope you drop by. Let's go to the 7th. 4-1 Dodgers, and for more play, here's Jerry.
All right, beneath Pepitone, Callison Ortiz coming on. In the 7th against Sandy Vance has yielded just 2 hits. Pop flies in the 3rd, back-to-back by Beckert and Williams, one into right field and one into center. So Sandy now working to Pepitone, left-hand hitter up there. The pitch on the way, fly ball along the left field line. It's going foul and out of play. Bounces up into the stands, and it is strike 1. So Vance now has a little breathing room as Lefevre tripled into right field. He gets 2 runs in. Strike 1 count. Pepitone waiting. Now the windup again and the pitch on the way. Off speed low. Changeup in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-hander and a left-hander working in the Cubs bullpen out in right field. Tomorrow night it'll be Pappas and Singer in the 2nd game of the series. Pepitone backs out, has another look at third base coach Peanuts Lowry. Lowry had his head down, was digging dirt along the spike, along the chalk line. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-1. Sandy Vance, who pitched part of the year here and part at Spokane last year. Sandy's trying to get off to a good start here this year. He had a bad start in spring training. He was hurt the first day out. Playing catch, he caught one. He failed to catch one. The ball hit him in the mouth and lost 2 teeth. 2-1 pitch, outside low for a ball, 3-1. and he had a sore arm. And finally did get a chance to pitch and has done well ever since. Vance waiting, 3-1 pitch. Wind up and down it comes. Too low and he walked him. That's the third walk, and each time that he's walked a batter, it's been to lead off an inning. Santo in the second, Martin in the third, and he scored, and now Pepitone here in the seventh inning. So 3 walks, and here's Johnny Callison at bat. Grounded into a force play and bunted and was thrown out by Steve Garvey. 1 on, nobody out in the seventh. They get somebody up in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Looks like Jim Brewer will start the fill. Callison waiting. Ortiz on deck and Martin to follow. Vance with a pitch, swung and a fly ball to left field. Allen is right there, backing up a few steps. Ritchie waiting. Has it for the out. It's 1 away. So Callison goes to left field with a fly ball. 1 out. And we'll see about Ortiz now. Jose Ortiz playing in center field, and he's hitting .444. He's had a good start. 8 hits and 18 trips. Chance to play. He came to the Cubs from the White Sox. Very speedy, playing in center field. Catcher J.C. Martin out on deck. And then we'll see about Holtzman's spot. 1 out and 1 on. Pepitone at first base. Parker will not hold him on. Right-hand batter up there. And Vance now getting set to work. Now Vance goes off. Back to the rosin bag. Check of the runner. Vance delivers to the plate. Fastball backhanded by Sudeikis. 1 ball, no strike. Vance made his professional debut in 1968 at Ogden. Then he was promoted to Spokane for a couple of games. He was at Spokane all of 1969 in 22 games. He had a 6-6 record. And last year at Spokane, he won 5, lost 4, and he was 7-7 in the big league. Pitches in for a strike. Ortiz around as if the bunt let it go by. 1-1. Kind of make him work a little bit. Vance working in the top of the 7th inning. Sandy last year, in 18 starts, had 2 complete games. He worked 115 innings in the big leagues last year. There's a drive to left field, well hit. Allen going back for this one. It's going to be over his head, and 1 hop against the bullpen gate. Here's Pepitone at third. The relay comes to Wills, coming to the plate now, and Pepitone is safe on a long double by Ortiz over Allen's head in left field. So Jose Ortiz, the little center fielder, banged one. 1 hop against the bullpen gate in left field. That gets a run in. That's the second run that is scored after a walk. It is 4-2 in favor of the Dodgers, and the catcher J.C. Martin coming up against Vance. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
Love thy neighbor. An easy thing to say, a hard thing to do. Because there are so many of them. And at our rate of population growth, soon there will be too many of them.
This is KTAR Radio, Phoenix, Arizona.
Face with a long double to deep left field. Vance ready, the pitch to Martin. Fastball low, 1 ball, no strikes. 4-2 in favor of the Dodgers. Vance has walked 3, 2 of them have scored. Wills calls time, comes in now to talk to Vance at the mound. They'll keep an eye on Vance now. As Vinny told you earlier, he'd gone only 5 innings at the most all spring. So now we're in the 7th inning, and he's given up a walk, a fly ball out, and a long double by Ortiz. 1-0 count, Martin waits. Here's the look in the pitch. Foul, straight back, strike 1, 1-1. Holtzman is out on deck. But the Cubs have action in the bullpen. If Martin gets on, the odds are that Leo will send up a hitter for Kenny Holtzman. 4-2, Dodgers lead it. Now the margin is the triple hit by Jimmy Lefebvre to drive in Parker and Sudeikis in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vance with a look back at the runner. Pitch to Martin is a strike on a fastball, drilled in there, and it is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Waiting is Martin. He's the catcher. In for Randy Hundley. Vance ready again. Looks and delivers. Popped up foul off behind the plate. Sudeikis coming back for it. It's going to be caught by Sudeikis. Right against the backstop. So Billy came all the way to the backstop screen to handle that one. Good play for Sudeikis. 2 down now. We'll see about Holtzman. Looks like Jim Hickman is going to hit for him. So Holtzman will leave, and Hickman will come on as the pinch hitter. So for Kenny Holtzman, he worked 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, 6 hits, walked 1, struck out 1, and that was a considerable improvement over Holtzman's first outing when he worked 4 2/3 innings and walked 7 and gave up 6 hits and 6 runs. So here's Jim Hickman at bat, and boy, Hickman had a great year last year for Chicago. He had perhaps his best year ever. Hickman last year hit 32 home runs, 115 runs batted in, and he hit .315. Here's Jim Hickman at bat. And Vance working with 2 outs. Fastball is inside, ball 1. On deck, Don Kessinger, the leadoff man. 4-2. The Dodgers lead the Cubs. And Sandy Vance trying to hold them back. Hickman last year played 149 games. He's played in just 2 games so far this year, and he is 0 for 4. Strike on a fastball, 1-1. The Cubs are experimenting at the moment. They have Pepitone at first and Ortiz in center field. Hickman can play first base or the outfield, and so can Pepitone. But right now, Leo's taking a look at Ortiz, and he's making a great impression. He's now had 9 hits. He's played in just 2 games so far this year, and he is 0 for 4. Strike on a fastball, 1-1. The Cubs are experimenting at the moment. They have Pepitone at first and Ortiz in center field. Hickman can play first base or the outfield, and so can Pepitone. But right now, Leo's taking a look at Ortiz, and he's making a great impression. He's now had 9 hits in 21 at-bats. 1-1 count to Hickman. Vance waiting. And the pitch on the way. Curve low, and it's ball 2. 2-1. Hickman 32 home runs last year and 21 the year before. Hickman almost quit professional baseball when he was traded from the Dodgers to the Cubs and then was farmed out immediately to the minor leagues. He decided he's going to hang it up, then he thought, well, maybe he'll try once more. And he came back and played with the Cubs, and he's had some great years with them. 2-1 count. Now the look again. Vance backs off. Turn 1 to Jim Hickman, number 28. Vance again with a sign. The look and the pitch. In tight, ball 3. 3-1. So Vance now is in trouble. He has walked 1, yielded a double, has 2 outs, and now Sudeikis and Wills both come to the mound to talk to Vance. On deck, Don Kessinger. Somebody goes to the phone to talk to the bullpen. All right, Hickman waiting, 3-1, 2 outs, runner at second base, 4-2, Dodgers lead the Cubs. Now the 3-1 pitch. Curve low, he walked him. That puts Jim in on base and brings up the leadoff batter, Don Kessinger. And here comes Alston to the mound. Kessinger coming up. Stops as he sees Alston go out. That's the 4th walk given up by Sandy Vance. And we'll see whether Alston's going to make a change here now in the 7th inning. Vance has pitched well, but he might be getting a little tired. He's only worked 5 innings. It's the longest stint all year. He's now in the 7th inning with 2 outs. And here in the last couple of innings, he's made a lot of pitches. In this inning, not last inning, he got them 1, 2, 3. So with a switch hitter coming up, Alston now will elect to see whether he wants to go with Brewer against Kessinger batting right-handed or stay with Vance. And it looks like he's going to go to the bullpen and bring in Brewer. He's looking out that way now as the second base umpire, Tom Gorman, comes in to join the conversation at the mound. Third base umpire, Pelikutis, is out in left field, and they're going to bring in Brewer. So Sandy Vance gave it his best shot and will leave here in the 7th inning with 2 outs 2 on, a run in, and he leads by 2. He cannot lose. He can win if Brewer can hold him. So Brewer now will be motored in from the bullpen in left field.
Coming in a bit. 1-9.
And Vance will lead.
21. Jim.
For Brewer, he'll be making his first appearance of the year. So here's Brewer coming in now, and the total's on Vance. We'll have to leave the door open. He worked 6 2/3 innings. He allowed just 3 hits, 2 pop fly singles, and a booming double. He walked 4, he struck out 3. He has allowed 2 runs and has 2 men on base that are his responsibility as Brewer comes in now. Well, while Brewer comes in, a reminder, a date to remember, in fact 3 of them, Helmet Weekend at Dodger Stadium, May 28th, 29th, and 30th. Free helmets to every youngster at these 3 games. Why not order tickets now? Send orders to Helmet Weekend at Dodgers, Box 100, Los Angeles 90051. That's for May 28th, 29th, and 30th. And a round of applause for Sandy Vance as he goes strolling off the mound. He sits well. Another note, the Dodgers are lining up a great cast for their first Old Timers Day. That game will be on Sunday, June the 6th. Already listed our former Dodgers to be honored: Duke Snyder, Don Newcomb, Wally Moon, and today Dixie Walker. There will be many, many more, so jot down the date: Old Timers Day, Sunday, June 6th, when Gil Hodges and the Mets are in town. Checking the scores: Pittsburgh over Philadelphia 4-3. Justy the winner, Selma the loser, won 11 innings. Cincinnati beat Atlanta 7-3. McLaughlin the winner. Reed the loser. Bench had 2 home runs. McLaughlin and Rose each had 1, and Cepeda had 1 for Atlanta. St. Louis 5, Houston 4, as Carlson won his second game, beating Blasingame. The Giants beat San Diego 5-0. Perry all the way with a 3-hitter beat Kirby. The American League, Angels beat Chicago 3-2. Oakland over Milwaukee 5-0. Kansas City and Minnesota 2-0 Minnesota. Boston beat Washington 10-7. Now Jim Brewer ready to go to work, making his first appearance of the year. Brewer pitching to Don Kessler, who turns around out of bat from the right side. 2 on, 2 out, and Brewer ready to work. Pitch on the way, pops up into center field. Out goes Lefebvre, in comes Russell. Billy loses his cap, calls, makes the catch, and the inning is over. So Brewer comes in, makes 1 pitch, and gets the side out. 1 run on 1 hit, 2 left, and the score at the end of 6.5 innings of play: Dodgers 4, the Cubs have 2.
Love thy neighbor. An easy thing to say, a hard thing to do. Because there are so many of them. And at our rate of population growth, soon there will be too many of them. Too many to feed, so we'll starve. Too many to keep healthy, so we'll have plague. Too many to house, so we won't. Too many to love, so we'll hate our neighbor and we'll have wars without end. Because just by staying alive, our neighbor will be taking what we and our children need to stay alive. Zero population growth wants to defuse the population bomb before it blows up in our faces. Maybe you won't want to join ZPG in its efforts to protect the future, but you owe it to the children of America to find out. Call 939-7798 for information, because the fuse is getting very short.
Friends, next time you visit Dodger Stadium, be sure to drop by one of Danny Goodman's souvenir stands. Pick up a copy of the 1971 Dodger Yearbook. The great cover by Carl Hubenthal is worth the selling price of 50 cents. On it, you'll find the names of every Dodger who's played in the stadium, a fitting salute to the 10th anniversary season. Here's Jim Colburn coming on now. Young man from around these parts. Jim went to school in Whittier. He was born and now lives in Santa Paula. He went to Whittier College and is working on his master's degree now. So Colburn is warming up now, and he replaces Kenny Holtzman, who worked 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, 6 hits, and struck out 1 walk. Here's Phil Russell coming up now. Russell has 1 hit in 2 trips. Beat out a hit to third. Last half of the 7th. Russell now will turn around and bat from the left side, facing Coburn. Coburn has been in 1 game, has worked just a third of an inning, and allowed 1 hit. Big right-hander ready, and the pitch on the way to Russell. Swung on and missed, strike 1. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Dodgers lead 4-2 over the Chicago Cubs. First meeting of the year between the 2 teams. Coburn checking signs again into the windup, and here's his pitch. A swing and a miss at a good breaking ball. Strike 2. That ball seemed to run in on Russell. Oh, and 2 the count. Now the pitch on the way. Cap foul as Russell checks his swing. Rather strange note about Coburn. He became the Cubs player representative as a rookie. He must be pretty smart. That master's degree is in sociology. There's a swing, a line drive caught by Becker. So Russell lines out to the second baseman, 1 away, and here's Brewer coming up. So Jim Brewer, who came in to replace Sandy Vance, coming up now. Coburn pitching. A little low for a ball. Another note about Coburn, I think, they had a night for him here in his rookie year. The folks from Santa Paula came down to have a night for him, and I think that he was shipped out the next day. But he kind of took it all good-naturedly. By the ball, line drive, foul down the left field line, and the count to Brewer, 1 ball, 1 strike. So that'd be in 1969 when he came up with the Cubs for 6 games. He was with the Cubs last year and was in 34 games and had a record of 3-1. Swing a high fly ball to deep right field by Brewer. Callison going back to the track makes the catch for the out. Boy, that's about as hard as Jim Brewer will ever hit a baseball. A long, high fly ball, and Callison had to retreat all the way to the running track in deep right field. So Brewer a long out, and here's Wills coming up. Morey has 1 for 3. Brewer will go back down and talk about his power. He goes down into the dugout, takes the helmet off, and has a speech. Over to the bat rack, of course. Wills at bat, 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now the windup and the pitch. Off speed to Wills for a strike. 0-1. Sandy Vance worked 6 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits in his first start of the year. 0-1. Now the pitch. Bounced over the mound near second base. Becker's there, up with it. Throw to first. Wills is out to retire the side. So Coburn gets him out 1-2-3 in the 7th. Score at the end of 7. Dodgers 4 and the Cubs have 2.
Marge, I'm home.
Thank goodness, George. What a day.
You think you had a bad day, Marge? Here I am driving home, and it's hotter than a barbecue, right? And what happened?
What, George?
I turn on the air conditioner, and it goes nuts. It was like a sauna bath in that car. They just don't make things the way they used to. I'll probably have to take it to a dozen places before I can find a guy who can fix it. You know why, Marge?
Why, George?
Because nobody tries anymore. Nobody's got the old spirit.
We still try at Union 76. When you take your car to a Union 76 certified serviceman, he'll do the job right. Because he's had special training at Union Certified Service School. Up to 6 weeks for each certified service stripe he wears. Tires, brakes, wheel alignment, tune-ups. If he's wearing the stripe, you know he can do the job. Even with complicated things, like air conditioners.
Marge, the Union 76 guy with the air conditioning stripe found the trouble.
Really, George? What was it?
I turned on the heater by mistake.
The spirit of 76 lives at Union Oil.
Don't forget cap night when everyone at Dodger Stadium, youngsters and oldsters, get a cap. The date, Friday night, May 7th. The Dodgers and the Pirates here that night. Cap night on May the 7th. Jim Brewer trying to cap it up for the Dodgers here. And the Cubs come to bat in the 8th inning. Back to play. Here's Ben.
All right, Jerry. Glenn Beckert will start it off, followed by Billy Williams and Ron Santo. Jim Coburn picked up the pieces for Kenny Holtzman. Jim Brewer doing the same for Sandy Vance. Dodgers leading 4-2, and the fastball is low. Ball 1. 1-0. Beckert is one of the toughest men in the league to strike out. He was the third toughest last year, and he's in the top 10 for the last 4. And he whacks it into left center field, base hit. Russell deep to cut it off, and does, and a perfect throw to Will. So Glenn Beckert opens up with a base hit, and that means some big boys are coming up representing the tying run. That is Williams and Santo and Pepitone. Four-two Dodgers, and here's Billy Williams. Popped up, singled, and grounded out. Brewer ready and delivers, and a breaking ball is outside. Ball 1, and the Dodger bullpen stirs around now. There's trouble in River City. And Pete Mickelson begins to throw in the Dodger bullpen to Tommy Haller. Parker not holding the bag on Beckert. He wants a little room to roam down there with left-hand hitting Williams at the plate. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball for a strike, and that fooled Billy. 1-1. Leo Durocher lets out a little holler to Doug Harvey, who nods, and that's all. A little foul off to the left of the plate. Tough play. No play. It hits the seat and comes back on the field. Hits the covering of the dugout seat. 1-2 to Billy Williams. Billy Williams back up to the plate. Williams hit just under 400 against the Dodgers last year. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Brewer at the belt, and the 1-2 pitch on the hands, foul back. Brew dropping his arm and coming a little sidearm that time to the left-hand hitter. Still 1-2. The word on Billy Williams, and of course he has been Rookie of the Year and established star for many years for the Cubs. But his own personality has matured considerably. He is definitely one of the team leaders now. The 1-2 breaking ball hits off Parker's glove into right field. That was a shot. Beckert is on his way to third and holding. And Billy Williams almost took Parker's hands off with a single to right. There are runners at first and third, nobody out, with Santo, Pepitone, and Callison coming up. And that ball was stung. The Dodgers without an answer as to how to pitch to Williams. He's 2 for 4 tonight. So first and third, nobody out. Dodgers holding on to a 4-2 lead. But for the first time tonight, the Cubs now have more hits than the Dodgers. They have been coming in the 8th as well as in the 7th. Santo takes the strike. Ron walked into a fourth play, struck out. Jim Brewer has allowed 3 hits. Now the pitch to the plate, screwball, a high fly ball. That should be deep enough to get Beckert home. Russell angling under it, makes the catch. Beckert comes, and the throw goes to Lefevre to keep the potential tying run anchored at first base. So Santo is scoring fly ball. And the batter is Joe Pepitone. Here's Joe Pepitone, popped up twice and walked. He's 0 for 2. 4-3 Dodgers. Brewer's sidearm fastball hits to Parker. He goes to Wills. He's back to Parker. Double play. In the 8th inning for Chicago. 1 run, 2 hits, nobody left. At the end of 7.5 innings, the Dodgers 4 and the Cubs 3.
Schlitz, Milwaukee, and the world. underneath the Atlantic Ocean. Sharks don't play games. Their ancestors must have had quite a feast 250 years ago when a hurricane sank a fleet of Spanish galleons, along with $14 million in gold doubloons and pieces of eight. If you're lucky, you find some of it. If you're even luckier, you'll live to celebrate it with gusto. And man, that's when you know what life really is. Because you know you only go around once. And you gotta look for all the gusto you can, even in the beer you drink. And that means Schlitz. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Good ball game. Dodgers 4, Cubs 3. In the 8th inning, it'll be Manny Mota, Wes Parker, and Richie Allen in that order. Manny Mota grounded out twice and lined out to right, all 3 times going the other way, which is the usual way with Manny. He rarely tries to pull a ball. He swings and lifts one back to second base. Becker's the shortstop. Kessinger will handle it instead. So Kessinger handling the pop fly by Mota, 1 away, and the batter, Wes Parker. Wes Parker, who started the double play on the ball hit by Pepitone. Wes has lined out twice and singled. He's 1 for 3, scored a run. Coburn ready and Jim delivers. Low, ball 1, 1-0. If you are not keeping score and you're wondering about the Cubs in the 9th, they are due to send up Johnny Callison, Jose Ortiz, and J.C. Martin. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Parker checks, and it's a strike. Leo said before the ballgame he could and might use Randy Hundley as a pinch hitter if the situation came up. 1-1 the count. The pitch to Parker is a ground ball down to second. Charging is Beckert. Short hops and gets him for the second out. Here is Richie Allen. Grounded to third, hit a booming home run over the center field fence and flied to right. In talking about the possible pinch hitters on the Chicago bench, discount the name Ernie Banks. First pitch is strike Allen. Ernie Banks is on the disabled list. He went on the 1st of April, so he will stay on for 3 weeks. Banks, with the ball club, works out every day before the game, but that's it. Strike 1 pitch. Allen has a look. He'll pay for it. Strike 2. So it's one time the Dodgers do not have to worry about the great Ernie Banks coming up in the 9th inning. 0-2 the count to Richie Allen. Coburn checking. Jim to the windup and the strike 2 pitch. On the hands, a broken bat. Slow ground ball to short. Kessinger in a hurry. Throws in the dirt, dug out by Pepitone. And boy, that bat will not be used again. Allen was really jammed. Dodgers are gone in the 8th, and at the end of 8. Dodgers 4, Cubs 3. Well, here it is, baseball season 1971. But much of the talk you hear is about the 1930s, even by those too young to remember. Now, perhaps one reason is because the 30s didn't have our problems of today, such as smog, litter, and elements that even affect our food. A farm boy delivered eggs that were barely out of the hen house, shiny fresh apples right from the orchard, and corn that was still growing just minutes ago. Well, today, it's nice to know we have Farmer John and his pork. Pork so fresh it couldn't be fresher back in the famous Eastern Corn Belt. In fact, you might say Farmer John brought the Corn Belt out west, because he ships Eastern corn-fed pork out here live, not frozen or in cold storage like most packers do. Then the meat's U.S. inspected and dressed fresh right here in the West. So Farmer John pork is strictly fresh. Farmer John pork, the only fresh pork ever to win a gold medal at the California State Fair. Ask for it by name, Farmer John. As we go to the ninth inning with the Dodgers leading 4-3, they make an outfield change for defensive purposes. They put Willie Davis in center field, move Bill Russell over to right field, and move Manny Mota over to left field. So if you're keeping score, put Willie Davis in Richie Allen's spot.
For Chicago. Batting for Callison.
Randy Hundley will make an appearance. Randy making his appearance, and it'll be number 1 for the great young Chicago catcher who's been out with a bad knee. So Hundley makes his first appearance of the year, hitting for Johnny Callison against the left-hand hitting Jim Brewer. The pitch to Hundley, a strike, 0-1. We mentioned earlier that Leo said that Hundley will catch, will start against the San Diego Padres. Brew into the windup, and the strike 1 pitch. Screwball lifted to shallow center. Davis comes up. He's there. He's got it. You know, one thing we always seem to forget. There is pressure on a ball player when he is put in the last inning or so of the game for defensive purposes. That's a long time to sit around. And then suddenly they hit a ball to you, and you've had no practice in a long while. Now, after that fly ball, Randy Hundley apparently, and we're only guessing, had that knee buckle on him. And Hundley, who was so close to playing, has suddenly fallen down and apparently hurt the leg again. What a miserable break for a great kid catcher from Virginia. And it is his right knee. Hundley is coming off 2 serious knee injuries back to back, and they're going to have to take a stretcher, I believe, and take him off. He is an Iron Man catcher, and suddenly last year he hurt his knee, and now this year he hurts it. All Popovich. In fact, Glenn Beckert and Joe Pepitone bring the stretcher out, and I can hear Leo's words before the game when we asked him, why wouldn't you catch Hundley tomorrow night if he can catch on Wednesday? And Leo said, I'm not going to take any chances with him. I'd rather be 10 minutes late than 10 minutes early. And then we said, could you use him as a pinch hitter? He said, oh, yes, as a pinch hitter. And wouldn't you know that hitting a fly ball, apparently his spikes caught, and down he went and hurt the knee again. And boy, that'd break your heart, because he is a marvelous guy and a great ball player. As far as the station identification, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
The Big Sun. KTAR.
To give you an idea about what kind of an Iron Man Randy Hundley has been for the Cubs, in 1966 he caught 149 games, in 67 152, and in 68 he appeared in 160 of 162 games, in 69 151 games. And you can only keep your fingers crossed and hope that he'll be okay. That's a tough break. Here is Jose Ortiz. Brewer delivers, fastball for a strike. Ortiz hit into a force play, grounded to short, and ripped one over Richie Allen's head for a long double in the 7th inning. He short-hopped the bullpen gate in left field. Strike 1 pitch to Ortiz. Ground ball down to Wills. Morey is up with it, has to hurry, gets him. 2 down. Due up is J.C. Martin. He will not come up. There'll be a hitter, Hal Breeden, B-R-E-E-D-E-N, a catcher. And Breeden will now come up and hit. And, of course, I don't know whether Leo would second-guess himself, but you know the human reaction would be, why in the world did I even use him? But, of course, he's a professional athlete. He had to be used. And darned if Hundley apparently didn't hurt that knee again. So Hal Breeden, who is listed as a catcher but has been an infielder, right-hand batter. He has good power, so he's up there to try and do it with one swing. He had 37 home runs at Richmond last year. Fastball for a strike. Now the strike one pitch to Breeden. Screwball low. Harvey shaking his head no, he did not swing. And the count 1-1. So Breeden is the third Chicago pinch hitter and the second in the ninth inning. 1-1 pitch to the right-hand batter. Screwball. Swung on and missed, strike 2. 1-2. Hal Breeden from Georgia. Brewer ready, 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Screwball got him, and the Dodgers win it 4-3 as Brewer strikes out Hal Breeden. We'll have the totals, the winning and losing pitchers right after this message.
The Phoenix Police Reserve is a well-trained group of high-caliber, concerned men dedicated to providing support to the regular police force. Reserve officers receive no pay, but they do share in the pride and the self-respect that comes with making Phoenix a better place in which to live. This is Dick Van Dyke with a special message for men between the ages of 21 and 45 who measure up to the reserve. The next Police Academy class begins very soon, and if you're a Phoenix resident, 5'8" and weigh at least 150 pounds, you may qualify as a member of this limited reserve group. You're invited, rather urged, to call 262-6188 for more information, or contact this radio station.
The totals on the ball game for the Dodgers to win it: 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. For the Chicago Cubs, 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. A well-played game that took about 2 hours and 2 minutes, although that's not official. The winning pitcher, Sandy Vance, and what a lift he gave the ball club. Vance 1-0 this year and 1-1 lifetime with the Cubs. Kenny Holtzman and Jim Coburn, and Holtzman the loser. He's 0-2, 0-1 with the Dodgers this year, 12-5 lifetime. So the Dodgers beat the Cubs in their first meeting. Tomorrow night it'll be Bill Singer and Milt Pappas. Warm-up time at 7:40, game time at 8. I don't think we'll have any further report on Randy Hundley. We can only hope that he'll be okay. But if we, of course, get a report, we'll pass it to you on the postgame show. And a reminder, on the postgame show, our guest will be Jimmy Lefebvre, and we'll get to the question and answers.
But you always find the spirit of 76.
The Good Son. KTAR-C.
Correct Mountain Standard Time, 11:05.
Good evening. This is Tony Pollock with Arizona Highlights. A 21-year-old Flagstaff woman fell to her death today at Mojave Point overlooking the Grand Canyon. The girl's name was withheld pending notification of next of kin. Grand Canyon National Park Information Officer Dick Renier said the girl was sitting at the canyon's edge outside a safety railing with 3 companions. The companions said they turned to return to their car, looked back, and saw the victim slip and fall. Renier said she fell about 300 feet. Her body was recovered by park rangers using a helicopter. Telephone bills may be going up. Mountain Bell Telephone Company announced today it'll ask the State Corporation Commission for approval to raise its rates. The company is seeking an across-the-board hike of 6 to 7%. Mountain Bell President L.B. Jolly says the cost of doing business has risen steadily since the company received its last rate increase in 1954. More news in a moment.
I'm writing to you as one of thousands of your loyal and grateful listeners. I am 18. For 3 years now, I have been listening to your broadcast, and these 3 years have played...
This letter is one of hundreds Radio Free Europe receives from young people who look to RFE for uncensored news. To listeners in East Europe, Radio Free Europe is the in sound from outside. For facts about RFE and East Europe, write Radio Free Europe, Box 1971, Mount Vernon, New York.
The House Appropriations Committee approved a Senate bill increasing the salaries of all elected county officials in the state. The bill had already been approved by the only other House committee to which it was assigned. It may be headed for a floor vote in the House. It affords substantial salary increases to county supervisors, sheriffs, clerks, treasurers, school superintendents, and county attorneys. The co-chairman of an organization